So let's talk. Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Uh-oh.
CYBL. Here it is. The elephant in the room. And listen, I'm going to give my 2 cents here. All right. And this, for me personally, I know that I got, first of all, I want to go to a scientific survey that I did. Here's the scientific survey. Very, very, details. The weighting on this was very crucial. I had a couple people in statistics at Harvard look at this, and I'm just kidding. But obviously, most people think that the CE is coming off. This was for fun. And you know what? If you guys were offended by this, I had a couple complaints that this was insensitive to
I never
shareholders.
saw this.
And I'm laughing because, you know what? This was meant as a joke. And anybody that's followed me knows that I'm very pro CYBL. And I think I'm with everybody else where we just want the damn CE off. We want them to do the share buyback. We want them to make sure that they're able to announce the awesome things that are happening right now. So, I got to just say that wasn't meant to offend anybody. And quite frankly, I have almost 13,000 invested in the company. If it offended anybody, tough shit. That's just it.
So do I. I have somewhere around 13 grand too. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and then some, right? So of all people, and so and that sometimes when I deal with the frustration of the situation that we're in, I have to laugh at these things because one, I'm not going to place blame on anybody. Two, this is a company issue. It's an OTCM issue, and you don't think that Mark knows about this. That we sort of let this slide, but I think this is an obstacle that is going to be created into an opportunity, and he put his energy where it needs to go, and that's building the business, which is completely off the rails right now. And I'm gonna share some things, and I want to just look at a couple slides here because I do have high conviction with this play, and I think anybody that has done a lot of digging and reads government files and reads the PRs
or reads the Wall Street Journal.
So let me just, and I'm going to ask the questions because you know what? And I'm going to say this, if you are holding and you're pissed off about the CE as an investor, you have the right to be pissed off. And I think that,
100%.
And so that's why when people say like, oh, you'll block me or you'll block, I'm not blocking anybody. Do you don't think I want the share price to be soaring right now? Because it's going to with what they're doing. I mean, it's insane. Let me share a couple things. And I want to get your thoughts, Brett. Sam, I want to get your thoughts. I know I'm going to talk about the filings as well, that there was a little discrepancy and back and forth on that on Twitter. But let's get into this right away. All right. Here it was. U.S. And I'm going to go back to February. This is when this all started coming through. This is when, we were pink limited, if I'm correct, or there was a yield sign. And so
that's pink limited. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know what I'm thinking right now. But the whole thing is he took the time and he networked and he took the time to do it. He let some other things go to the wayside, but we're learning now that it was worth it. And then some. U.S. vows to send more drones aid to Ukraine on war's anniversary. And it talks about the money that's being spent. And many of us think that it's a waste of money. Some people don't. Many of us think that it's something that needs to be done. Nor here nor there, not being political. But one thing that we do know is that they're supplying the K-8 drone, and probably more than that. I mean, they're in connection with a lot of NATO countries right now. Let's go right to the state.gov, the Department of State. Let's go right to the website. So if you hear anybody, and I'm going to just correct this right now, that says this is a scam, this is fake, that is 110% bullshit.
This and the government's a scam too, correct?
I mean, well.
Okay. Some people in the chat might.
Hey, come on, it was just tax season. I could tell you that. I'm sure you know. But let's go right down. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they're supplying Ukraine, lots of money, and here it is, right on the Department of State website, Cyberlux K8 UAS. And I'm telling you right now, when I see this, it's very, very important. And now, as of recent, we all learned about this. All right, the JMH Group, formerly whatever it is, filed a lobbying registration on April 12th to represent Cyberlux Corporation effective March 1st. So they backdated it. So you know that they've already been working on these things. That's what I gather from that. So they're lobbying, to introduce Cyberlux to congressional offices and DoD officials in order to articulate the value proposition of their solutions. And what I get by that sentence is it's really negotiations. All right. And this is really good because the government has a lot of money. I know because, well, we all give it to them. And then we have this other purpose here of introduction of capabilities, briefings on Cyberlux drones solutions. So back to where we're at here. I want your opinion and you to lay it out for anybody that's watching, that's a sharing, that's a shareholder. When do you think, in your opinion, I know like you're a shareholder like all of us, a more substantial one,
30 days.
Yeah, you think 30 days?
Yeah.
All right, that would be great.
Mhm.
Do you think, in your honest opinion, and I'm going to get to some of the discrepancies in the filings because I think that's where Sam Aker comes in. I want to utilize his knowledge there. What are they going to offer? Do you think, and I'm just going to lay this out there, just tell me your opinion. Obviously, if you feel you don't have to, if you obviously don't have to answer anything I ask. I do have a couple questions that I'm going to get to from people that they sent to me. Do you think that they have any acquisitions? Do you think that they have more contracts than what they stated originally with those K8 drones? And do you think that they are going to have not recycled, renewable contracts, which they have the option to renew? Give me your idea about like what you think about all that. I got to know, and I got to ask the questions.
So good. First off, let's just start with this. Acquisitions, I don't think there's going to be any right now, which is good news for shareholders as far as like, having to give up a bunch of stock for stuff. Renewable government contracts, I think that's the name of the game. I think, once they saw this stuff in action, I mean, like, remember, you're talking about something that can take like high definition pictures away from 5 kilometers away. Like, I mean, remember, like if there was a drone 5 kilometers away from your house taking pictures of your house, you would have no idea. I don't care who you are. Like if you're the CIA, you would have no clue. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that to me is like, is pretty enormous. I just think it's going to keep building. So like, it's kind of like doing business with like a school system or something, or like a baseball team. Like, the baseball team buys their socks or whatever from all from the same place. They all get their hats from New Era. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with this. I mean, I just think overall, I mean, CYBL is more. I think it's more growth than acquisition. I think in all seriousness, it's their product is so serious and so like legit that I really, really believe that it's just going to be growth and like organic growth. And I know that's like everyone's pipe dream, and they like kind of think, oh yeah, that's never going to happen. You need to acquire businesses. But like in this situation, I mean, like they just got like what, like I don't even know how much it is, was it 70, 80 million, or whatever the hell the number is on that. I mean, that's enormous. I mean, remember, the United States government is giving you tens of millions of dollars. I mean, like, I don't know about any of you, but the United States government never gave me any money, let alone tens of millions of dollars.
They take.
Exactly. I think I just wrote a bunch of checks to the government, as a matter of fact.
Holy tax season. Gotta love it.
Oh, yes.
And Sam, why don't you give me your overall, and I know you're more of a numbers guy.
Yeah.
Give me your overall thoughts on that news that I shared. And
yeah, no, I mean, like, maybe taking a step back here. I know I wrote some articles that were like not very friendly about what their filings look like, right? But it doesn't take filings aside. You just got to turn on the news or something, or read any like news site and realize like, defense contracting and drones is probably pretty important, going on in the next. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could be even more conflicts in the next 10 years. We don't really know, right? I'm not a geopolitical expert, but that's what a lot of people think. And so I think I actually really like the company in general, like what they're doing and everything. I wasn't ever invested because they were pink limited, I think, for a long time before a while before the
like 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I never invested, but I did keep following it because it was interesting to me. And you can find my older articles where I was pretty positive about the company. But then after, they reissued filings. There's like 60 reissues or something. I mean, there was a lot of problems like that. And then the CE came on, and they missed a disclosure about an attorney or something. And and then I think it was probably mostly my frustration, which a lot of you guys probably felt too, when we waited all that time and then an annual report came out, and then I found problems with it, right? And some of them probably weren't that big of a deal. I think my main motive there was I was trying to, like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to encourage companies to do the best filings they can, right? I'm trying to help you guys with this. I'm not trying to like destroy the company, or like I don't have like some crazy short position. I don't even know how to short this company. That's how
there's
bad
no way to
I
short the stock.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as this. Like, but like in all seriousness, like I've been in this business a long time, and like Sam's reports and stuff, like for a guy to just like take the time and effort to like do this stuff, just to like educate people is insane. I mean, like seriously, it's so nice and so good. I mean, like, back in the day, like there was no one there were people that were putting out false information so you learn the wrong stuff just so they could beat you. Like now, at least it's like this guy's like, here, learn how to read the filings. Here's a 10K. Like, you know, it's pretty amazing. I mean, so I mean, thanks, Sam. Seriously,
no, I appreciate that. No, and we see eye to eye on Cyberlux. I think with going forward and stuff. I mean, I really hope the CE comes off for everybody, right? I mean, it's a cool company. It would be too bad to see them just get totally hammered by this thing.
So I'm going to give a little tidbit of information right now. Like, I mean, I actually have been talking to some people, like, you know, OTC market, stuff like that. I mean, I know a bunch of people, like, you know, I can't say much more than that. Like, you know, they got almost no comments back from what I've understood. You can't quote me on this. I'm not, this isn't non-public information. This is just my trying to figure out and then me sharing it with all of you. So I'm pretty much told that they've like filed everything's done. They've been reviewed. They came back with a couple of comments. I don't know what those comments are. I don't know. I have no idea, but I was told that they're fairly minimal. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a couple of changes, amendments, addendums, whatever. And that's for everything. That's for pink current and CE removal for everything. It's not just pink current and then we're still going to have the CE. So that's why I say 30 days. And that's the only reason I actually say 30 days. And
did it have anything to do? Well, maybe you can't say about Series B. I know we talked about
so like there was no mention of the Series B. Like I understand what Sam was saying about the thing. Like, I mean, obviously like not accounting for the other missing, I get it. It's not really like the issue at all. I don't believe it is. I mean, I don't know 100% yet, but I don't think it's the issue. Like,
yeah. And you know what? I was reading, and like I say, I like to read Sam's articles. I read them even when I don't, you know, I'm not invested. Like there's a handful of companies that I am invested in. There's my watch list, man. If I had the ability to invest in Cirque, I would have loved to get in at 1 cent. I mean,
right? It's over 3 now. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable. You know, I mean, so there are so many great stocks. Like I was talking about DVLP. If they have what's going for them, that could be a really good stock for shareholders getting in at 00 numbers, those sub penny numbers that you were talking about. But when I read Sam's articles, I at first I'm like, oh, why would he say that? And then I said, well, he was saying that because it's accurate and it's true. And it's from his lens of his background. And I go, and so the more I read, the more I learn. And you can't get, and this is the whole thing. And I will say this about ilus. You know, I totally respect JP Nick, you know, even Mark Schmidt, totally respect him for what he's done. And for him to get his ass over to Ukraine and do what he's doing is badass. It's badass.